Speaking of social media, you mentioned TikTok. I was scrolling through the social medias, and people are already asking for season two of Owning
It's
Manhattan.
so
So I want
crazy.
to know, will y'all
Yeah.
be back? Is there a season two in the works? When I was watching this show, one thing stood out for me that I kept thinking about so many negative tropes that we've seen when it comes to Black people on reality TV. And for you two to be, this couple, but also just two of the few Black agents at Sirhan, I thought the way that you carried yourselves and the way that they portrayed you, the way that World of Wonder portrayed you, was something that we really haven't seen before. So I was just curious, like, how has being a Black agent and a Black broker at Sirhan, shaped your experience, and were you mindful of sort of the torch you carry as a Black person on reality TV while filming?
I'm aware of that torch,
I was gonna say,
not on television.
yeah,
Like I'm
that's
aware
our
of,
lives. That's an extension of our lives.
yeah, there's
So this
it's
is not going to be
yeah,
any different.
yeah.
Like that's what we do. We feel that I hate to call it weight, but pretty much that weight when we go out into the real world as Black agents in the luxury sector. So it's not going to be any different. And you can't give any production company anything to edit if you don't give them anything to edit, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they can't create anything if you don't give it to them. And so we're being who we are, and this is who we are all the time. So there's no difference. There's not going to be a opportunity to create any type of, throwing a glass of water or a glass of some drink on someone. That's not happening because that's not who we are, and that's not what our brand is. It doesn't align with us.
Yeah,
So
and I
won't
think
get
that also too, like the audience that finds that type of drama and chaos to be exciting, they're probably going to find us to be quite boring. I mean, like I can't give you that. I'm sassy and I definitely am witty and I definitely have a lot to say. But for the most part, I'm like here and focused on business. I'm focused on my relationship and I'm focused on my relationships. I'm focused on the city that I live in. You will see that the nonsense is what people hold on to, though. You will see that there are cast members on this show that I'm not fond of. It's very obvious that I'm not fond of them, and they are going to get a lot of attention and a lot of shine for the nonsense. And
I
that
think you say
that
we. I think it's fair to say we
we,
aren't. Yeah.
but that is their agenda. That's their intention. Is it's a look at me. I want attention, and I will do makeup and lie about anything to do that, and that's great because that's also entertaining. And I feel like that rounds out our show. So I thank them for their contribution. It's just not my personal brand of lifestyle, and it's not the way that I am going to be acknowledged or earn any level of accolades. Like I want to just focus on great work and great contribution to this project, to my own career, and to Sirhan as a whole. I'm not interested in anything else, and it's very evident who is here and what they're here for.
And there's something to be said about longevity. That going into that lane and leaning in that direction, that doesn't last forever. It may give you like 10, 15, 30 minutes of fame, whatever it is, but we're not here for that. We're here for the long-term success of our careers and our brands, and to pivot to wherever else we want to go to and whatever we want to do and be respected in that space. Not as, oh, those are the ones that are dressed inappropriately or, saying whatever it is.
Fighting on TikTok, like
Yeah, it's
So true.
we'll engage, but we're not going to get into the foolishness.
yeah.
I had to edit myself there.
You shouldn't have. You should have said it.
We're not going to get into the fuckery.
Just say it. Just say it. We're family. Speaking of social media, you mentioned TikTok. I was scrolling through the social medias, and people are already asking for season two of Owning
It's
Manhattan.
so crazy.
So I want to know, will y'all be back? Is there a season two in the works?
Listen, it's your mouth to God's ears, to Netflix ears, and the World of Wonders ears.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone that's watching, we want you to continue to watch, because the more you engage, the harder it makes it for any exec to say no.
Speak out. Say that you want the show at Netflix, at World of Wonder. I think we've done really well. I don't know much about the metrics. They are bananas. I know that. But everyone has seen this show. I was in New Orleans this weekend for Essence Fest, and like everyone has seen the show. Like it's just crazy. Like last night I was at a pool party, and people were telling me I've watched it twice, and I hear that more than anything, that people have watched the show twice. So many people have watched the show twice.
And to that point, the thing about the show is that people watch it twice, and I think this is one of the big differentiators of the show. There's really great, and I talk about education, there's really great moments in the show that, whether it be real estate or whatever entrepreneurial direction you are, there's lessons to be learned there on how to negotiate, how to pitch, how to, walk that fine line between confidence and competence, directly speaking to the Jonathan fiasco. Yeah. So there's a way to really know like what to do, how you push the line, how you push the envelope. And I think that's what's different with this show. You can really come out of it with things that could really help to improve your career, and regardless of the capacity of the genre. So I think that's what really sets us apart from all the other franchises out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm waiting for the spinoff series, Selling with the Arromands. Okay, I think it has a great ring to it. I'm so here for it. I want to ask a bonus question because one thing that stood out for me in one of your interviews, Tricia, you mentioned that like your first 6 months of doing real estate, you didn't have a sale. I think you weren't even really close to a sale. Then your first sale was only $100,000 home. And you do the math, the commission on that, you can't eat off of that for 6 months. What's advice to folks? I think even me, I'm inspired to get my real estate license watching this show. But what's your advice for folks for that hunger period? Because most people, when they want to go and do something, they want to go all in. They want that to be their job. They're 9 to 5, or I think you said it was like you were working 7 to 11. Does real estate need to be a backup plan first and then you go full time? Because how can you sustain if you're taking 6 to 12 months for your first sale?
Yeah, you have to go all in. There's no choice. I don't think there's anything you can do part-time unless maybe you're getting leads from some relationship you have, but you have to go all in, and it's a long game. So I think most people should probably figure out a financial plan to be able to make an effort into going into real estate, but not really rely on the income for a year. No different than any other entrepreneurial journey. Like when I opened my businesses, I had a financial plan for myself for a year. So if my business achieved or failed, Tricia Lee, was still comfortable and fine. And I don't think that real estate is any different. You can't go in there. You're not an employee. We are not employees. We do not work for Sirhan. Sirhan is paid by us. That is the relationship. People understand that. So now that you're an entrepreneur, that's like saying, oh, well, my pizza shop hasn't made a profit today. That's not good. That's how it's going to be sometimes, but it's a long game. And I got into real estate because I felt like 10 years from now, I want my financial picture to look drastically different. So I have been working really hard for the last 8 years to get to that 10-year point so that I can be in that actuality, that reality of what I've built. That's the way you have to go at it, like anything else. But when you get there, the money is different. It's not, there's no cap to it. It's not like that job where that's the final promotion and that's it. The best you can do is maybe 2% a year. That's not what it is. Like there are deals you'll make enough money in one deal sometimes that people would have made an entire year of working. Yeah. So there's no cap to it, but it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort, and we work hard.
There are no financial ceilings, but I'll say this though. One thing that I would advise anyone that's looking to come in is, first of all, don't necessarily, what we did, I wouldn't advise anyone to do the route that we did. Number one, we pivoted from our careers and went right into sales immediately, head first. There's, I would join a team. I wasn't a part of a team. I went to coaching and I learned the hard way. But in retrospect, I would advise someone to be a part of a team, learn the business as part of a team, start with rentals so you can get some level of income coming in consistently, learn how to, interact with clients, and then you start to pivot into sales. So that way you 6 months span of just want to get a sale and not having any money whatsoever. Yeah. But you can start with rentals, get into sales, find a mentor, get into coaching, and really help to expedite that learning curve. And then you go into sales and then you do that. But we were hard-headed. We want to get right in and we want to do it. So if you want to do that, you can, but be prepared. As Tricia said, have that, your financial structure in place. So that way you can deal through that expanse of not getting any money. So that's what I would say.
But I want to say to that, just to not miseducate, it's not always 6 months. I had a sales director that told me he didn't close a sale for 2 years. So 6 months was my experience. And when 6 months hit, in my 7th month, I closed a ton of deals, a ton of contracts at the same time. So 6 months is not a realistic expectation. I had a stellar first year, and it took me 6 months to make a penny. So I want to make sure I clarify that point. And the other thing is, yes, joining a team is a great strategy, but you've got to think long and hard about what it is you have to contribute, because you have a team of people that are running a business, You coming in knowing nothing is not any type of contribution to that team. So you have to think about, what do you bring to the table? Maybe you are great administratively. Maybe you're great taking photos. Maybe you can do sketches. Maybe you're a great connector. There's some skill that you have from your previous career or just from your lifestyle that you can bring into the group, and that's what you have to lead with. And it can have nothing to do with real estate. One of our agents, she was just so knowledgeable about what this city had to offer, and that was her special sauce, and that's what has let her be very different on our team. She knows everything culturally that's going on in New York City. So it doesn't matter what your strong suit is, but you need to know what it is when you join a team, because you don't have anything else to bring to the table. So lead with what you have, because they're going to be impressing upon you all this education and experience, but it has to be give and take. Nobody's going to work in a relationship for very long when it's all take, take, take. So think about your strong suit and have no expectation for when you're going to make your first check, because it could take you a year.
Listen, so many gems. I am so inspired by both of you, Tricia and Jeff. I'm fixing to get my real estate license at some point. I'm joining the team for season 3, possibly.
Perfect.
No, I'm so inspired. But listen, so many gems. I think you all should do a podcast at some point. But in the meantime, I'll be manifesting season 2 right along with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We need it.
Yes.
All right. Thank y'all. Bye.
All right. Thank you.